So if you guys have been following on Facebook, you'll know that I've been flying with Levi. See, fly with Levi. And so he's come up and he did my 5-hour fly off since I changed out the engine and everything, and it went really well. Had a few little squawks, they've all been dealt with. So then we flew another 4.8 hours, just me and him, and I did really well. Still haven't quite got the landings consistent. I can land, don't get me wrong, I can land, but I need to be able to land consistently. So he's going to come back in a few days. We're going to work on that again. So some of the things that we noticed while he was out flying is the cockpit is like an oven. And it's because there was no baffling in front of the firewall. That's been taken care of, and I'll show you here in a minute. Had some things on the Grand Rapids, like the attitude was not set correctly, so it showed that we were always descending when we were flying level. I think I fixed that. So it should be good next time we go out. A few other things I'll walk around and show you. All right, speaking of the blast furnace, so I added this baffling you see back there. It should do a pretty good job. We'll see. Let me take it out here and taxi a little bit, and we'll see. The spinner is currently off of there, as you can see, because in the testing, the pitch of the prop was more of a cruise prop. So I think Levi said he was getting about 108, 109, as I recall, and it didn't quite have the climb performance. So we took all this loose, took the prop loose, and pitched the blades a little bit flatter, so it climbs better. Wide open at flat, cruise, he's at 5,500. So, and he was still doing 105, as I recall. So I'm going to put the spinner back on there. I'm just going to wait until not right now. Here's my proof that's been flying, because there are bugs on my tape. And you're going to wonder about the tape. If you recall, I had to trim my ring cowl down because of the prop. I didn't want to put a spacer here. So instead I trimmed this ring cowl down, and the boot cowl now comes down to here, and the ring cowl's above it. So what would happen is, this is all exposed here. So until I can get this fiberglass work done, I just put the tape on here to keep it from getting out of control. Right down here, and somebody had mentioned this earlier, and I didn't think as much of it as I should have. So you see the exhaust is hitting the fiberglass here, and this all residue. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get a length of pipe and extend this down. I thought about coming down and going back, but I'm just going to come down to, you can't tell, it's about that level, add about 3, maybe 4 inches to it, just to get this exhaust down past this fiberglass. I don't think it's a problem heat, because in the radiator, I think it's more just going to destroy the fiberglass. So I'm going to get that done. Another issue, and that's kind of a known thing with the Kit Fox, took a lot of right rudder, and like an excessive amount. So I've temporarily added this trim tab instead of using a piece of aluminum and bending it. I went with this method, so I can trim it down as needed, or I have 3 sticks of stuff I can add to it. It's just taped on right now. We're going to fly it and see how it does. See if it's too much right rudder, or if it's not enough, I can adjust. When we're finally satisfied with it, I'll adhere this down permanently and paint it to match the airplane instead of using this, tape. Okay, another thing that we discovered, and ironically, Kevin Palmer had pointed this out forever ago, and it got lost in everything else. Well, you see, I've added the puka pedals. Those are awesome. Dacus set us up with that, and I have the old style attach points for the master cylinders. So what that means is when you're, for example, pushing hard on the left rudder and using brake to steer, unless you move your foot completely off this pedal, you're touching the top of it up here. Because this pedal, as the arm comes back, it leans out. So you're applying brake whether you realize it or not. So the byproduct of that is on last Saturday, I melted this brake line because we were just doing high-speed taxiing and obviously overheated the brakes. We could smell it. We pulled off to the side. We didn't stop soon enough, and we couldn't get enough air across the brakes to cool them off. This line melted. I just happened to have new fittings, and I've got about 6 foot of this brake line, so I had plenty. Fixed it. We were down for about an hour. Re-bled the brakes, and I think we're good now. Well, clearly we're good because we put 5 hours on it that day and didn't have any problem. So yeah, we had a little problem with the radio. We could hear outside just fine. People could hear us just fine. But when we were talking, so it's over the intercom, the gain on the mics was really hot and we couldn't figure out where it was. I finally corrected it. I've tested it here and it sounds better. So it's to the point that when we were flying, we were using hand signals because we couldn't understand each other. I think we finally figured out our communication. So that's been corrected. And in order to be completely airworthy, I had to add this boom for my GoPro because without this, you just can't fly. The FAA has rules about this. So this is nothing but a 3-section mic boom, and it's carbon fiber because I wanted something that was light and strong. And it will. There's a 3rd section. I took it off because I don't need a 9-foot boom. It's a bit much. It does go out to the 2 sections. I do have it safety wired because you see it back here. It goes through the holes that were in the tube. Because as I point out to Chris, if it comes off, look where it goes. So I want to make sure it's not going to come off. It shouldn't. I've got the Adele clamps and I've got the safety wire front and back. So up here, I was getting really proud of myself. I thought, well, you know what I need to do is I'm just going to drill a very small hole through this and safety wire it through, so it's instead of having it slip. And I did that and I thought it looked great. And I went to extend it and realized why I shouldn't have done that. So took the wire back out, wrapped it around, and it's good to go. And last but not least, I keep talking about Levi. So I said, I flew with him. So started something with Chris's airplane. When Levi flies it, he signs it. So he signed my airplane and he signed Chris's. I'll show you Chris's right quick. Right there's where Levi signed his. Hey, that's what I've got. Like I said, Levi's going to be back maybe Wednesday. We're going to go up. I'm going to go up with him. Hopefully, if I can get my head out of my backside, which hasn't happened yet, so why would I think it would be different Wednesday? Anyway, if I can get everything straightened out, I'll prove to him he knows I can fly. I'll prove to him I can land as well. So, fingers crossed it's going to happen. I've got a lot of people saying, hey, come fly with me, and I'd love to as soon as I'm legal and safe. But anyway, so that's all I've got. I'll let you know what happens. Bye.